Hi, I'm Gregg Marks, one of the directors of May I Be Frank, and you're watching Conscious Content TV. And what are you grateful for today?
This is Conscious Content, where you can look forward to viewing media coverage of environmental, spiritual, and socially aware content. Welcome to Conscious Content. I'm Melissa in LA at the Awareness Film Festival. And this film festival showcases films with topics such as environmental awareness, health, and well-being. And tonight, we're here for the screening of May I Be Frank, a transformational documentary about one person's journey to live a more conscious life. Come along with me as we learn more about the film. And I'm here with Gregg Marks, one of the directors of May I Be Frank. So Gregg, what was your involvement with the film and how did you get involved?
Well, the quick story is that the three guys, bought a camera, not being filmmakers, but they were really inspired to document what they thought was going to happen with Frank. And they did. I think they did an amazing job, actually. And so when they were done with the 42 days, they kind of put it on the shelf and said, we don't know what to do with this. And at the same time, I was in the process of moving to San Francisco with the affirmation, and that's the key point, because the movie's all about affirmation. And I moved with the affirmation. That's it. I'm doing music and film full time. And so when I got to San Francisco, they were the first people I met. And they said, my God, we're looking for a filmmaker. And I'm like, I'm looking for a very, a powerful film, something I can really, something that moves me. And so initially we knew there was some connection there. And then I saw the footage. And I think I stayed up all night watching it.
Wow.
Because I was so compelled and I was crying and laughing and so moved. And the next day I called them and said, I don't think you guys get what you have here. This is amazing. So, but then, stepping back and looking at the story, I realized that there was some things missing. So I shot an additional 50 hours of footage, interviewing family members and doctors and things like that. And then basically started editing the film, And at some point, I think the important thing to mention here is this was made with community money and with community. So how it was done is I edited a certain amount together. We showed some friends and family. They were inspired. They gave us money. We made some more. And then we got more money and we made some more. And then we actually got more money at one point. And then I actually could bring in another editor, Kyle here, who did an amazing job. And but it was, it was over like a 2-year period that we made this film because of that. But what the important thing to realize is that it's 100% community made. All the money was donated, and it was through inspiration. And they're starting our film downstairs right now.
Yay!
Music. Wow, that's so super. That's great. Anyway, so I don't know what else to say about that other than the film was made with love and trust. They trusted me solely, especially Frank. Frank was amazing. He literally had no concern around what I was going to edit, what I was going to put in, what I was going to take out. And that level of trust was huge in the making of this film, too, because it wasn't made the way a typical film is made. There was no big producer and all these egos and stuff involved. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but this was made in a very egoless environment where we practiced the same methods that were taught in the film with Frank. And because we made the film that way, there's some sort of magic around it. There's some sort of divine magic around the film because I think it has a lot to do with how we came together, how we made it, and still our intention of why we made it.
So on that note, what were the goals as far as the message that you wanted to portray in the movie?
That's a great question because there's so many. Coming from the background I came from is in New York, I was working on some sort of reality TV, tabloidy stuff, and there's easily, with the footage that was there, we could have went that direction. We could have made it this shocking, sort of tabloidy, exploited type of film that shocks people and wows people and entertains people. But for me, when I saw the footage, I was committed to telling the story as authentically as possible, having it inspire and move people, and really focusing on the authenticity, the vulnerability, and the the transparency that Frank was so willing to give these total strangers. I felt that was the most powerful message, and it's a human story. There's sub-stories like raw food and health and affirmation, and those are all important to it too. But I saw that, and I think we all saw that, the human story is what would touch more people, and they would really get that part of it. And that's what I think that's what moved us too. As we were watching it and editing it, we were moved by that, so we just went in that direction with it. Yeah.
And have you always been involved in directing and editing conscious films?
No, it was my affirmation. I actually was doing most of the editing and filming I was doing in New York was mostly for money. It was a way to make a great living because music has been actually more of what I've done most of my life. So it was more to support the music habit. And then it became a bigger passion. And when I moved out here, I realized, no, this is something that's really second nature to me, and it's fulfilling, and I want to do this full time, you know.
So do you have any more projects coming up that are along these same lines of heart stories to share with the world?
Wow, the secret question. There's so many beautiful ideas, and I've been approached by a few people lately that are doing incredible work in the world. I think what I'm committed to is in filmmaking is instead of preaching to people, instead of teaching people and showing them or letting them hear about a concept, I feel the power is in having them watch someone take it on. I think that's the power of May I Be Frank, and I'm committed to continuing whatever film subject I take on, showing a human being, a regular human being, taking it on, because I think that inspires the most.
Exactly.
Well, my next film, in my idealistic world, is called, the working title is Out of Thin Air. And it's about people who in the real world, just ordinary people who are making miracles happen in their life every day just by the power of intention, the law of attraction, and just really believing that there is no limitations, and really just unexplainable miracles. And there's millions of people out there that choosing who to document is going to be the hard part. But I know, that's basically what I'm doing next. Yeah.
Awesome. And where can people go to find more information about you and your upcoming projects?
Well, I would just direct them to May I Be Frank right now. So mayibefrankmovie.com is the present site where everything is. And, there's a tab on there for me. But honestly, I'm so involved with this film now, and it's just begun. Like, I know that for the next year or two, I'll be supporting this film before necessarily moving on to anything else.
And going back to how you were saying that it was really community made, and Rylan and Gary, who started the filmmaking process of it, you just picked up a regular camera that they had. What advice would you give to people who want to showcase a transformational story like this, or a heart story that really don't have a big budget?
I would say just follow your heart. Do not let what other people say or other people do, or even what it looks like out there. I mean, I think the most important thing why this film has done what it has is because we took a look out there at how people were doing it and the criteria and what people said you had to do and how much money you needed and all that, and we just said, you know what, that's great. And we just said, but we don't have any of that, so we're just going to follow our heart, and just follow the heart. Get that, be creative, get the camera, get the small. I mean, technology lets you get this little tiny camera now that has incredible quality, even better than what we made this film with. So I would say get that camera, put those ideas down on paper or film them, and just, inspire people and grow it. I mean, that's what we did. We grew it. And I think what's going on now with a lot of filmmakers is they're bringing the film right to the people. They're skipping the industry, they're skipping the critics, they're skipping the people that might naysay it, and they're going, you know what, I think the people are going to like this no matter what you say. And that would be my recommendation, is take it to the people, see what they have to say about it.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much. I'm a filmmaker myself and very inspired by that. Is there any last things you would like to say?
In the nature of what this film is about and how we all live, I'm just very grateful to be present in this moment with you, having this interview, having this movie play here at this 800-person film house in LA, in West Hollywood, which we would never expect to happen. I'm just really present and grateful to what that feels like and in awe of it.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Gregg, for being here for this interview. Thank you.